Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Allen. This is NBA Weekly, the show where once a week I talk about things that have happened recently in the league and things I'm looking forward to in the coming days. And this is the last episode for the 2014-2015 NBA regular season. After this, it'll only be playoff coverage. So, now let's look back at some of the huge milestones that have been accomplished this season. A lot of individual things that I'm not going to talk about because a lot of people have had some great career milestones, moving up on our time list, blah, blah, blah. But, the things I'm going to point out are the Hawks and Warriors have both set new franchise records for wins. Both of them reaching 60 for the first time in their franchises. The Hawks have 60 wins right now and the Warriors have 64. That 64 win mark is the most by any first-year head coach, so great job, Steve. Now let's give some credit to Mark Jackson. Like, he set the blueprint and Steve just elevated them. It's not like they went from like 6 wins to 60. I mean, they've been a playoff team for the past 2 or 3 years in a row. Just saying. Anyways, the Lakers, they've lost a franchise record 58 games. And there's still plenty of time in the year. They can easily reach 60, which sadly that would still only have them the 4th worst record in the league. There are some really bad teams out there. Spurs are in the playoffs for the 18th straight year. They've now had 60 consecutive 50-win seasons, 16 consecutive, and they've also had 17 straight seasons with a winning record on the road. So they just continue being the Spurs. Pau Gasol leads the league with 50 double-doubles this season. Russell Westbrook has had 11 triple-doubles. And Steph Curry recently, he sets the single-season record for three-pointers made, beating his own record, which he just set a couple years back, 2012-2013 season. And a few things happening more recently. The Mavs have clinched the playoff berth and the Suns are officially eliminated. So now the race for that 8th spot in the playoffs is down to just the Pelicans and Thunder. And right now the Pelicans have the 8th seed because the Thunder, they went on a 4-game losing streak. So now they and New Orleans have the same record. And New Orleans owns the tiebreaker because they won this head-to-head season series 3-1. So they just have to keep. So they are now in control of their future. If they can find a way to keep winning, if they win out, the series is theirs no matter what the Thunder do. The Thunder, if they win out, they still have to hope that the Pelicans lose at least one. So like the Thunder, in order to get in, they have to have a better record than the Pelicans. And they both got the same number of games to go, so that's going to be worth looking at. And they both still face playoff teams in the future. And then also the Warriors, they had an 11-game winning streak, but then they faced the defending champs who proved that they are back to form. The Spurs currently on a 10-game winning streak, and they're not just winning, they are dominating. They are going head-to-head with playoff teams and dismantling them. Paul George for the Pacers, he returns to action. This week he's played the first games of the season, and now currently the Pacers, they're keeping pace in the playoff race. The Hornets have been eliminated, so right now Nets and Celtics are in. Pacers just 1 game behind them, and like I said, they're currently on a 4-game winning streak. And then the game behind the Pacers, you've got the Heat, who It's amazing how the mighty have fallen. You lose LeBron James and suddenly you can't even make the playoffs. Ain't that about a bitch? Speaking of LeBron James, he had his first triple-double of the season this week. And in injury news, the Rockets lose Monte for the season. Tabo Cephalosha for the Hawks, he's out for the season because of an incident at a nightclub, which also at Chris Copeland of the Pacers, he was at that same nightclub, but apparently these incidents and injuries were not connected. He ended up getting stabbed, and last I checked, he's currently in the ICU. So I don't know what anything further to tell you. That's all I've been able to learn as of right now. And so, yeah, that's what's going on in the league, and so I'm just gonna run through a list of a few games worth looking forward to, or at least that I feel are worth looking forward to. You've got on Saturday, Raptors at Heat, and then Clippers at Grizzlies. Which last I checked, Clippers only half a game behind the Grizzlies right now. Grizzlies currently playing, so if and they're actually losing the game last I checked, so they could end up have tied going into this game. So this win could, if they're not already there, because I don't know who owns the tiebreaker, I'll have to check. Even if they don't own it, the Clippers could vault into third place with a win on Saturday, and so that'll be cool for them. Then you've got Sunday, Cavs at Celtics, Thunder at Pacers, two teams both desperately fighting for the 8th seed, and neither of them can really afford a loss. So this one's going to be, a lot of intensity and energy. That's basically a playoff game for them, because a loss here could end it for either of them. And then you've got Pelicans at Rockets. Monday, you've got Grizzlies at Warriors. Tuesday, Raptors at Celtics, Wizards at Pacers. And Wednesday, the final night of the regular season, plenty of things worth looking at. Hornets at Pacers, Celtics at Bucks, Spurs at Pelicans. It might mean nothing for both of these teams. They could both be clinched already, or it could mean something to both of them. I don't know. There's a lot going on before this. You've also got Wizards at Cavs, Pacers at Grizzlies. Long story short, it's the last night of the regular season. Just show up, watch your team, watch anyone you feel like, because a lot of these teams, this is going to be your last chance to see them play until next winter. So that's it for this edition of NBA Weekly. That's it for this season of NBA Weekly. And starting next week, as soon as all the matchups are solidified and the schedules are released, dates and times, then I'll do playoff matchups. So look forward to that. Stay tuned to this channel. And, as soon as the playoffs are over, the WNBA season starts. So I'll cover that on my channel. If you love basketball, feel free to check that out. Lots of WNBA games that are going to be broadcast on national television. And if you have a team in your area, you should be able to catch a few more of their games. So it's something to check out. This is it for NBA Weekly. This has been the Fan Perspective. I'm your host, Nathan Lyle. I hope you've enjoyed this season. Hopefully you stick around on this channel a little more, because I can guarantee it will only get better. That's a complete lie. I cannot guarantee that, but I feel like it's something that you have to say. Because if you tell people, I can guarantee you it's only going to get worse, or I can guarantee you it's going to stay exactly the same, it doesn't have the same ring to it. It doesn't really make people say ooh, I definitely want to stick around. He's guaranteed it's going to stay exactly the same. Okay, I guess there are people out there who would stick around if you said that, but not the vast majority of people, though. They would not be impressed by that. Oh, camera's still on. Bye!